And go back into Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 48. All right. And the Lord spake unto Moses. And the Lord spake unto Moses that self same day, saying, Get thee up into the mount Abram, unto Mount Nebo, which is in the land of Moab, that is over against Jericho. And behold, the land of Canaan, which I give unto the children of Israel for a possession. See, the Lord told Moses to get into the mountain for him to die, because God told him, I think it's in Numbers chapter 20, he told him to speak to the rock, but Moses smoked the rock, because you're supposed to speak to the rock and the water was supposed to come out, but he was angry with the children of Israel, so he didn't speak to the rock, he smoked the rock. So the Lord said he won't enter into the promised land, just let him see from a distance, and he let Joshua take the children over to the promised land. That's what happened when disobedience. God punish you. That's what I already did say. I've been trying to tell y'all that for years. That's why we're having all these problems right now. Food shortage and all that stuff. The price is going up. You're going to have food shortage. It's like Jesus Christ talking about in Matthew chapter 24. There'll be war, famine, pestilence, and earthquake. Pestilence like pandemic, like we're having now with the coronavirus. See, all that's starting to happen in the nation and rising against nation. Could be wars and rumors of wars. God destroying people. The punisher for our sins. You have to understand that. When you be disobedient. You learn the example there with Moses. That's why Moses couldn't enter into the promised land. Because he didn't sanctify God before the children of Israel. That's what the Lord said. He wanted him to speak to the rock. See, the first time, I think it was in Exodus 17 or somewhere, he told him to smack the rock, 2 times. But this time he smoked. He told him not to. He told him to speak to the rock. Like I said, that's why we're having, like I said, now, because we're disobedient, we promote homosexuality, transgender, adultery, fornication, lying, stealing, corruption, and everything. That's why God is punishing us now, as a nation, as in the whole world, really. The world is getting punished. That's why the coronavirus and all over the world. Well, all that sin against God. Study sin ain't promoting, same-sex marriage, adultery, fornication, transgender and all that different thing. Lying, stealing, corruption in our land. So God is punishing with earthquake, famine, tornado, fire in the land, flood, mudslide, a different thing, tornadoes. That's God's doing with heat. He's bringing out the heat on the people. He tell you in Revelation, he's going to scorch man with great heat. And man going to blaspheme God. But people don't want to hear that. That make believe it's some climate change. It's not climate change. It's our sin. That's all it is. Whether you accept it or not. You can put all the windmill and all the stuff you want. It won't help you. Solar power, all that. darken the sun, all that. Some will refuse to shine for a third part of the day. And likewise, the moon and the stars. We tell you in Revelation. But people don't want to hear that. They holler about abortion, all that stuff. These women hollering about abortion, and nobody say nothing about it. And they know it's wrong, So, but God punished for all that. That's all I'm trying to show you. All right. In verse 50 it says, and die in the mount, whether thou goest up and be gathered unto thy people, as Aaron thy brother died in Mount Hor, and was gathered unto his people. See, I remember Moses, like I said, I think it's in Numbers chapter 20, and God told Moses, to speak to the. So he told him, like in verse 8, to speak to the rock. See, I'm going to read this as one verse, in verse 8. Numbers chapter 20 and verse 8, it says, take the rod and gather thou the assembly together, the people together, thou and Aaron thy brother, and speak ye unto the rock before their eyes, and it shall give forth his water, and thou shalt bring forth to them water out of the rock, so that thou give the congregation and their beasts drink. You see? God told him to speak to the rock. In verse 8, he told him to speak to. Now in verse 11, see what Moses did? Verse 11 says, Numbers chapter 20, verse 11 says, and Moses lifted up his hand. See, Moses lifted up his hand with his rod. He smote the rock twice. See, he smote the rock twice. So God told him in verse 8 to speak to the rock. See, he disobeyed God. Disobedience. That's why God punished him. And the water, and he speak to the rock. Moses, I'm going to read verse 11 again. He said, and Moses lifted up his hand, and with his rod he smote the rock twice, and the water came out abundantly. See, the water came out abundantly. And the congregation drank, and the beasts also. See? And verse 12 said, and the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, because ye believe me not, to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel. Therefore, ye shall not bring this congregation into the land which I give unto them. You see? That's why Moses couldn't enter into the promised land that he gave to the children of Israel. Because he was disobedient. But God told him to speak to the rock. And he smote the rock, you see. Same as now. God tell you not to be no homosexual. God tell you not to commit adultery. God tell you not to steal. Tell you not to do these things. The people are doing it. See? Look what God did with Sodom and Gomorrah. These men, the small and old, they wanted to go with those angels that came to Lot's house. See? And God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. God punished for you doing wrong. You have to understand that. You think God ain't going to do nothing. God, a lot of times, just let it go on, certain lack of time. Then he get angry and then he punish, destroy you. That's what he's doing now, just like he did Pharaoh. You know, told him to let his people go, and Pharaoh didn't want to let his people go, and God hardened his heart. You know, it's like the people now. All the time God hardened their heart. They say, "Oh, I got a right. This is my body. I do what I want to do." It's not your body. You're dead, laying in a box. Whose body is it? See, you say it's yours. You can't even get up. It's not yours. You know, God say He kill, He wound, He make alive. You know, it's not your body. Your body belongs to God. It's not your body. You're dead. Whose body can you say is your body then? You can't say that. You can take your body and burn it and throw it in the trash anywhere. You know, it's not yours. You know, all these women a lot of times say, it's my body, I do what I want, you know. It's just word talk. You know, nobody do what they want to do, man or women. Body belongs to God. All right. Back to 52. Oh, 51, I guess. Because Deuteronomy 32 and 51, trespass against me among the children of Israel at the water of Meribah Kadesh, in the wilderness of Zin, because sanctify me not in the midst of the children of Israel. See what the Lord was telling Moses. And verse 52 say, yet thou shalt see the land before thee. See, God let them look at the land from a distance. If you read the Bible, it'll tell you He let them look at the land from a distance, but He said He couldn't go into the land. That's why He let Joshua took the children of Israel into the land. It said, yet thou shalt see the land before thee, but thou shalt not go go there. That's what thither mean. Go there unto the land which I give the children of Israel. See? So, for being disobedient, that's why Moses couldn't enter into the promised land. That's all I'm trying to show y'all. You know, just like we sinning now and all that stuff, God will punish us. That's why we're getting punished with the coronavirus and flood, fire in the land, you know, with great heat. And it's going to get hotter, even hotter, you know. We haven't seen nothing yet. All that's God's doing because of our sin. That's why we're getting punished. We can try windmill, solar power, you know. You know, the Lord said in Revelation, the Bible said in Revelation, that the wind won't blow up upon the earth. See, the angel gonna stop the wind from blowing. How your windmill gonna run? How you gonna get your electricity? See, you can have all type of trouble. See, and they want to cut back on fossil fuel. So they tell you the earth, not the oil and the wine. But that's all I'm trying to show y'all. But nobody wants to listen or want to hear. But that's all in this chapter. But thank y'all, and may God bless y'all and give y'all wisdom and knowledge and understanding of His Word. Now read His Word, search out His Word. That's why we're getting punished now, you know. And many will turn against one another. We got so much hatred and we are divided, you know. The Lord spoke of that in Matthew. He tells you that in Matthew chapter 24 and Mark chapter 13 and Luke chapter 21. You know, you gotta hate one another. That's where it is now. You can see it now. We are divided now. A lot of them don't have no understanding because they don't read God's word. You know, they don't have no love for one another anymore. You know, filled with hatred about election and all that stuff. You know, and they don't want to read God's word, so they don't have peace in their heart. But thank y'all, and may God bless y'all and give y'all wisdom and knowledge and understanding of His word.